Okay, guys, Panzer J back here in Operation GoldenEye. We're at turn 15, July 1943. So we'll do the Commonwealth 15-4 and the Free French 15-5. So we're in rough shape, to say the least, with the Commonwealth here. We're facing some hard choices, some hard decisions, and really no easy answers here. So we're going to do our best, but it's looking pretty bleak. The U.S. is holding their end of the bargain up for the Allies, but the Commonwealth, I'm sad to say, is in pretty rough shape. So the UK themselves, I mean, they're okay. They're collecting high 20s. And they do get their wartime economy roll, so their income's decent. And the home island themselves is not in any danger, but they've lost, Africa, at least northern Africa. The FEC is down to British Malaya, and Anzac is kind of just stuck in Australia. So I think right now, if you added up victory points for the Commonwealth, I would get like 2 or 3, so it's it's not looking too good for the UK's performance. And I mean, every little bit of good news comes with some bad. So Madman Dan has gone on the offensive in Russia and is pushing the Germans back. So on the one hand, that's kind of good news for the UK, because hopefully it will draw more German attention to the east. Allow us to do something maybe in Western Europe, but then on the other hand, that just is improving the Comintern's position in the game. So not so good there. And then in Asia, you just got to tip your hat to Boston Bruce. He's played a great game. I mean, everybody has really, but you see Japan is just an absolute juggernaut. So hopefully Knights Templar is going to be able to give Boston Bruce a little something to think about. But we're starting to get late in the game. We only got 3 turns left before the variable die roll ending starts. So you would figure that you probably, odds are you're not going to hit that die roll for at least a couple turns after that. But even still, you're probably looking at no more than 5 to 6 turns left in the game. So not sure we can do a whole heck of a lot, but we'll give it our best try. So on to our tech rolls. So we have 3 for the UK, as usual. We are going to go for advanced artillery, which is at stage 1, and then we don't even have anything else on the board. So I think we'll do, how about jet fighters and heavy armor. Seriously doubt anything's going to be completed, but okay. So advanced artillery 7 or higher, and was a 1, so we missed that. And then we've got heavy armor 8 or higher, a 5, we missed that. And then jet fighters 8 or higher, and an 8, we succeed there. So we get on the board with jet fighters. Put that up there. Tech's about the only thing that's been good for the UK in this game. So on to purchases. So we have 34 for the UK. So Boston Bruce did take $2 off of one of our lines. I have elected to take that off of the FEC. I had the choice between the FEC and UK proper. So we're going to hold on to all 34 for the UK, and they're going to spend, I think, all but $1. So we've got $8 for 2 colonial infantry, 2 for a militia upgrade, that's 12. A minor factory for Normandy is 8, that's 20. We are going to do a fortification for Normandy, and we're going to pay the full 10 and finish it in 1 turn, so that's 30. And that is going to go on the border with Paris. So any attacks coming from Paris into Normandy, this fortification will contest that. And then we're going to lend lease the Free French and Airborne for 3, so that's 33, so that'll leave us $1. Now, the only question I had with that is I have to come through Gibraltar here. I was looking through the rule book, and I couldn't see anything where it says possession of Gibraltar prevents lend lease. There's no submarines in the way, no enemy submarines. There aren't 3 surface ships. So I'm going to go ahead and elect to purchase the airborne and send it that way. If Gibraltar, the Italian possession of Gibraltar, can interdict it, then I'm electing not to send the Lend-Lease to the French, and instead, with that $3, I would buy a militia for Normandy for $2 and save another buck. So I either have $2 saved if the Lend-Lease can't go to the Free French. If it can go, then $1 left over. So that's the UK proper. The FEC has nothing because they only had 2. And again, I lost that 2 to Boston Bruce. And then Anzac has 5, and they're going to save the 5. So that's it for purchases. On to combat. I believe we have 2 combats for the UK. So one of them is going to be, we're going to convoy raid again here in C-Zone 80 with my 2 subs, trying to take that buck off of the Italians. And then we're going to attack Syranaca here. So we are going to take these 3 Anzac fighters. And if you remember from last turn, it was confirmed that planes can fly over the Sahara Desert. They're going to come 1, 2, attack Syranaca. Then this Strat bomber from northern Algeria is going to come over 1, 2, 3 and carpet bomb. And then the air transport in northern Algeria is going to take the airborne 1, 2, 3 and drop him off in Syranaca. So Global War 36 enthusiast has 2 colonial infantry and a militia there. The desert terrain doesn't affect the plane, so I'll get 3 rolls at a 2 with the Strat bomber, 3 rolls of 6 for the 3 fighters. The airborne normally would attack at a 3 on the first round. It'll drop down to a 2 because of the desert. And if we go into round 2 and he survives, he'll be a 1. So those, I believe, are only 2 combat moves. I'm not going to bother putting those on the battle board. His 2 colonial infantry are defending at 4 and the militia at a 2. So let's go ahead and do our convoy rating. That's the easier of the 2. So green is the Italians and red is the British. The first sub, we each got a 1. So I have a +2 for the submarines, though, so that will take the buck off of the Italians. So we did as much damage as we could there. And now on to the combat here in Syranaca. So we've got, let's go ahead and do our carpet bombing first. It just lasts 1 round, and he has no units that can fire back at it. So I get 3 rolls at a 2. Any casualties are taking off automatically. No hits. 8, 9, and a 4. So that was useless. Okay. So then we got 3 rolls of our fighter at 6s. And we got a 1, 2, and a 9. Where were those rolls last turn? So that he takes 2 hits. So I assume that would be his militia and 1 of his colonial infantry. And the airborne at a 2 or less. 9 misses. Okay. So he has got his militia at a 2 or less. A 1 hits. Unbelievable. And 2 rolls at a 4. And an 8 and 11, they both miss. Okay, so I need to take 1 casualty. So I'm going to take my airborne. He's going to lose his militia and 1 of his 2 colonial infantry. Okay, and I am going to actually... screw it. We need to start taking chances because we are way behind the 8 ball. So I don't really want to risk losing a plane, but screw it. We're going to go for it. Okay, so we get 3 rolls at a 6 with our fighters. And we got 2 6s and an 8, so that kills him. His colonial infantry at a 4 or less. Yeah! Lost a plane. Oh, well. Okay, so Syranaca is now empty. We can't take it because we have no ground units, but it is now empty. Okay, so we're going to fly our 2 fighters. 1, 2 back to Nubia. Let's see. How about Actually, the other two planes are just going to fly back to northern Algeria. I know I'm doing non-combat, but that was it for combat anyways. Okay, so that is it for that battle. Other non-combat, we're going to have this infantry in Sudan move up one to Nubia. And then over here in Western Europe, we are going to have... Okay, we got 6 fighters in Normandy, and all 6 of them are going to pull out of Normandy and fly back to London. And I'll explain that in a second. That's part of the difficult situation we find ourselves in here. And then also non-combat, this Marine and the 2 artillery in Aquitaine are going to move up 1 to Normandy. And I believe that is it for non-combat. Let's see, we're not moving any of our ships. That should be it. So, yeah, nothing else in the way of non-combat over here. And then over in the Far East here, British Malaya is going to stay where it's at. And actually, Anzac is just going to stay there as well. Boston Bruce was on to me a little bit. I was going to probably risk my fighter to take out his lone light cruiser until he backed that up with a second one, so we're not going to go ahead and do that. So that's it for non-combat. So on to unit placement. So our 2 colonial infantry are going to go down in Nubia. Our 1 militia is going to go down here in South Africa. And we've got a militia upgrade, which is over here on this card in Normandy. So take off this militia, put down another infantry. And then our minor factory and our fortification are in Normandy. And again, this fortification, I'll just put this actually on the map. This is here on the border with Paris. So any attack Global War 36 enthusiast wants to make from Paris into Normandy will be covered by that fortification. So why did I pull all those planes out? Because he's got a stack of about 6 or 7 anti-aircraft guns in Paris. So I was originally just going to bring the 2 fighters I already had in London over and continue to back up Normandy that way. But I could totally see GW 36 enthusiast coming into Normandy next turn with some infantry and all of his AA guns, just to do 1 round of combat to get, 8 shots at my plane. So I can't risk losing those planes, especially to, freaking AA guns. So I can't risk it. So that's why I have to pull those planes out of Normandy. But if I pulled the planes out of Normandy without, maybe that fortification, then Normandy, probably a good chance it would fall. So I was kind of forced to build that fortification, even though I didn't really want to spend $10 on that. I'd much rather spend it on actual combat units. But again, that's part of the difficult situation we're in here. So not much I could do there. And then as far as the attack in Syranaca, especially pressing it and, then ended up losing a fighter, I now opened the door for the Free French to come in, so that was good. And I believe that's the last Italian territory in Africa that has an IPP value. So, because Tobruk does not. So, for original Italian territories and IPP value, that's it. So now Global War 36 enthusiasts shouldn't be able to put colonial infantry down in Africa. So that was my main goal there, even to sacrifice the plane If I wouldn't have taken Syranaca this turn, or at least attacked it with the British, there's no way this Free French force was strong enough to take it, and that would have given him another turn to put a couple more colonial infantry down there. So that was my thinking there. So that is it for the Commonwealth. So the and the Lend-Lease delivery. We forgot that. So the Lend-Lease delivery come down from London, make its way down here, no ships in the way, no subs, and drop that off in northern Algeria. Again, if Gibraltar does prevent the Lend-Lease, or at least can interdict it, then I'm not going ahead with that. Instead, save one of those $3, and then the other two would go towards a militia in Normandy. And that's it for the Commonwealth. So the UK is at 27. I saved $1 for now, so that's 28. Pathetically, we have absolutely no bonuses whatsoever. So 28. Plus, let's go ahead and roll our wartime economy. So let's go ahead. We could use some luck here. And there you go. We got an 11. So that's about as good as it gets. So 11 plus 28, that's $39. The UK will have. FEC is at 2. I'm sure Boston Bruce will have something to say about that. Anzac is at 6, so that gives them 11. Okay, so for the Commonwealth next turn, UK proper 39, FEC 2, Anzac 11. Now on to the Free French. They have $10 to spend, and they're spending the whole thing to buy a fighter. And they have one combat move. They are going to send... this is another tough decision. I guess we're going to send 2 of our 3 infantry in Tripolitania and our cavalry over 1 to Syranaca. So that's up $1 for the Free French, down $1 for Italy. So Italy down to 9. The Free French up 1 to 5. And that is it for the Free French. I don't believe they have any other combat moves. So we will go ahead and place our fighter in northern Algeria. And the Free French spent their full 10. They have 5, so that's what they will have to spend next turn. So now, real quick, for a unit recap. Not a whole lot changed, so just let's cover the couple of territories that did. So in London now, I have 8 fighters and 1 militia, the fortification as well. Normandy has the fortification on the border with Paris, and it looks like we have 3 medium armor, 2 marines, 4 artillery, 2 AA, and let's see, how many infantry? I believe it's 5. And yes, 5 infantry, along with a minor factory. And then the U.S. has 6 infantry and 2 medium bombers. Down in northern Algeria, the British have an air transport and a Strat bomber. The Free French have a minor factory, a militia, an airborne, 3 mountain infantry, and a fighter. Tripolitania has an infantry. Syranaca has 2 infantry and a cavalry. Nubia has 3 infantry, 4 colonial infantry, 2 fighters, and a militia. South Africa has 5 militia. Everything stayed the same in Australia and with the Far East Command. So that's it for the Commonwealth and the Free French. I'm turning things over to GW36 Enthusiast and Italy. See you guys on turn 16.